2 days ago, something happened in a laboratory in Bristol, England, that should have been front-page news everywhere in the world. A company called Scarlet Therapeutics announced that they had successfully grown human red blood cells in a lab, matured them, and demonstrated that those lab-grown cells survived in a living body at rates comparable to natural donated blood. The same week, researchers at Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Laboratory announced a separate program called HEART, where they are developing freeze-dried red blood cells. The concept is extraordinary. Take lab-grown blood cells, freeze-dry them into powder, and reconstitute them with saline solution on a battlefield, in a rural clinic, or anywhere a blood bank is not available. And I want to be clear about something. This is genuinely remarkable science. The potential to save lives in trauma situations, in remote areas, in military settings where blood supply is limited, that potential is real, and it matters. The scientists working on this deserve recognition for what they are building. But the metabolic files exist to ask the questions that the headlines do not ask. And the question I cannot stop thinking about is this. If the human body already produces 200 billion new red blood cells every single day, and it has been doing this flawlessly for hundreds of thousands of years of human evolution, why do we need a laboratory to do what bone marrow already does for free? Think about that for a second. Your bone marrow right now is producing roughly 2 to 3 million new red blood cells every single second. Not every minute, every second. It does this automatically, without a prescription, without a laboratory, without a team of scientists. It has been doing this since before you were born. The question is not whether science can grow blood. The question is what went wrong with the system that was already working. And I think the answer is staring us in the face. We are poisoning the factory. The bone marrow is still working. The production line is still running. But the raw materials being delivered to that production line have changed dramatically in the last 50 years. The food supply has shifted from whole, living, nutrient-dense food to ultra-processed material that published research consistently links to inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, cardiovascular disease, and cancer. The water supply contains microplastics so small they cross into the bloodstream. The air in our homes contains synthetic fibers shed from carpets, furniture, and clothing. And the blood that carries all of these contaminants is the same blood that delivers raw materials to the bone marrow. So the bone marrow is building new blood cells from contaminated materials, and the cells it produces reflect what it was given to work with. This is not theory. This is basic biology. The quality of the output depends on the quality of the input. A 2025 study published in Nature Medicine found that microplastic concentrations in human brain tissue had increased by 50% from 2016 to 2024. Those particles traveled through the blood to reach the brain. The same blood that your bone marrow builds from the food you eat, the water you drink, and the air you breathe. The factory is not broken. The supply chain is contaminated. Now here is where this story becomes personal for me. I used to think blood was just blood, a fixed thing, something you are born with and it stays the same until you die. I did not know that every red blood cell only lives for about 120 days. I did not know that my entire red blood cell population turns over every 4 months. And I definitely did not know that the quality of every new cell being produced was directly determined by what I was putting into my body. When I learned that, it changed everything, because suddenly, every meal was not just about hunger or taste. It was about sending instructions to my bone marrow. It was about deciding what the next generation of my blood would be built from. And that is the part of this story that the headlines about lab-grown blood will never tell you. The breakthrough is not that science can grow blood in a lab. The breakthrough is understanding that your body is already growing blood every second of every day, and you have the power to determine what that blood is made of. Your blood is completely new every 120 days. Every red blood cell dies and is replaced. Your bone marrow does not care what is trending on social media. It does not know what a laboratory in Bristol just announced. It only knows what you fed it today, and it will build the next generation of your blood from whatever materials arrive through your bloodstream. That is not a headline. That is biology, and it is happening inside you right now. Scientists are spending millions of dollars to replicate what your body does for free. That should tell you something about how remarkable the system is. The question is not whether we can replace it. The question is whether we are willing to protect it. Lab-grown blood will save lives on battlefields and in emergencies. That is worth celebrating. But for the other 8 billion people on this planet, the answer is not in a laboratory. It is in a kitchen. It is in the choices you make 3 times a day, every day, for the next 120 days. And the metabolic files will keep investigating what those choices actually mean for your blood, your cells, your brain, and the body you have to live in for the rest of your life. Because this is not about trends or headlines. It is about understanding the machine you live inside. If this shifted how you think about your own blood, leave a comment. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them. Not for the algorithm, for them. The truth is out there.